Chris Allingham with the Virtual Weber Bullet. The sun is out, the rain has stopped here in Northern California, and I'm out in the backyard. I'm making barbecue today. What am I doing? I am smoking some pastrami. Now my favorite pastrami is made from brisket. I like to take a brisket flat and dry cure it and smoke it in the Smokey Mountain Cooker. But today I am smoking some beef round. This is actually corned beef. It came from Costco. It's a Snake River Farms American Wagyu beef, corned beef round. Now round is not really my favorite cut of beef. It can be livery, but this meat from Snake River Farms is high quality. It has a lot of marbling in it, and I have some friends who have used it successfully and they say it's very delicious, so I'm trying it today for the first time. I actually bought these pieces of meat a year ago. I wasn't able to cook them right away, put them in the freezer. You know what happens to meat that goes in the freezer? It gets lost. So I pulled it out now, 2019, March, a year later. I thawed it out, looked at it, smelled it, it looks fine. So I went ahead and soaked it in water for 8 hours, changed the water every 2 hours. I then just kept it in the fridge overnight until the next morning when I was ready to cook it, which is today. I whipped up a pastrami rub. I'll put the ingredients at the end of this video with the proportions, but basically it was granulated garlic, it was black pepper, a little bit of light brown sugar, and some coriander seed. I put a good coating of that all over the beef round. I let that sit on the counter while I fired up the Smokey Mountain Cooker. I'm running the cooker today at about 275. I put those beef rounds into the cooker on the top cooking grate, running around 275 and hoping to cook them to an internal temperature of about 180 degrees. At that point, I'll bring them in the house, let them cool off. I will actually refrigerate those overnight, and then tomorrow I'll try to slice them as thinly as I can and serve them on some delicious sourdough bread with some Swiss cheese and a little bit of spicy brown mustard. So let me take you over to the smoker and show you how these pieces of corned beef are smoking away. All right, well here's our beef round cooking away. Let's take an internal temp and see what's going on here. These are at 149 internal. These have been on the cooker for about 2 hours, so they got a ways to go, 150. So we got a bit more time to go here. So here's how those two beef rounds looked after cooking at 170 degrees Fahrenheit internal temperature. I brought them in the house. I let them rest for a couple hours. I decided not to wait till the next day to slice into them. I went ahead and cut into them after a 2-hour rest. You can see here I used a very sharp serrated knife to do that. Try to cut as thin as I possibly could. And in this shot you can see how the fat is nicely rendered and softened around the edges. These Snake River Farms corned beef really did a nice job for pastrami, so I can recommend them. I had some reservations, but they were a nice piece of meat, and I could recommend that you give it a try if you'd like to. And here's a shot of that sandwich I mentioned to you. Some warmed pastrami on some sourdough bread with some brown mustard and some Swiss cheese. Now, about a week after I made this pastrami, I broke down and bought myself an electric meat slicer. This is really a treat. It's a toy. It's fun to have, but it's also very useful. And you can see that it makes very quick work of slicing up this leftover pastrami. I was able to slice it about 1 millimeter thick. You can see here the beautiful slices that I got with the beautiful marbling in that meat, that Wagyu beef. And here you can see just how thin those slices are. Try doing that by hand. I did have a lot of leftovers, so I portioned those slices into 4-ounce servings, and I put them in vacuum bags and froze them for future use. Just drop them in boiling water. Well, that wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like more details about this cook, please see the article that I wrote about it. You'll find a link on the screen or in the description of this video. Please like and subscribe to my videos. And until next time, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.